You make my world a better place.
Yes.
We'll get you walking again soon.
That's good.
Wow.
Chris's break on remote Christmas Island, northwest of Australia, is about to be cut short.
Hi, Chris speaking. All right, look, I'll get there as soon as I can. Guys gonna have to wait.
Chris has been called away from witnessing the annual crab migration to help another one of Christmas Island's unique animals, the endangered seabird called the Abbotts Booby.
Even though the name is pretty comical, the plight of the Abbotts Booby is actually very serious. This is their only home on Christmas Island, and there aren't too many of them left. So if one of them is in trouble, it makes sense that, with no other vets on the island, they help it out.
Hi.
How are you? It's Tanya, right?
Chris, yeah. Tanya.
How are you?
Thanks for coming.
That's all right. Is that Bill I can hear in there?
That is Bill, yep. Sounds a little bit cranky this morning.
All right, well, let's have a look.
Cool, coming in.
Ranger Tanya Dito has been caring for Bill since the young female booby was brought into the National Park headquarters unable to fly.
What's the story with these guys here?
Yep, most of these are little red-footed booby chicks. They're fledglings. We got them as little fluff balls, fell out of their trees, and we've just been raising them until they can fly away.
You as well? Yep, sure.
Yep. And this is Bill.
Wow. Hello, Bill. There's a very good reason why I would always jump at seeing an Abbotts Booby. There are only around about 10,000 of them left in the world. They're only ever found on or around Christmas Island.
So she came in with basically her right wing. The primary flight feathers just
not there.
Weren't there. We were hoping they'd grow out, but they never did. When we heard that Chris was coming over to Christmas Island, we thought it was a great opportunity to actually get Bill checked out properly and hopefully get some treatment for her.
So you've been, I guess, the reason she's still alive.
Yeah, so we've been feeding her and just looking after her.
Bill's incredibly lucky that someone actually found her at the time and then brought her to see Tanya, because Tanya now is her only lifeline.
She's obviously not happy here. She sees all the other birds fly off and gets a bit depressed.
Okay.
We're hoping you can help us do something for her.
I'll certainly try, because, you know, the mind's certainly willing, it's just the body's not really able.
No, she certainly thinks she can fly.
Yeah.
With the Abbotts Booby endangered, it's vital that birds like Bill be given every chance to return to the wild.
The fact that given certain circumstances the entire population could be wiped out, it means you have to be incredibly careful with each and every bird.
Shush, 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 shush. It's okay.
Hey, come on.
At the Bondi Referral Hospital SASH, Leslie has rushed in with little Patchy Girl.
They're going to look after you, aren't they?
Overnight, the Shihtzu cross was struggling to breathe.
Patchy has been my buddy for 7 years. She has done so much for me. She's been there all the time beside me. But now it's my turn.
Leslie has been through a crippling illness, and Patchy Girl holds a very special place in her heart.
Yeah. She's visited me in hospital on numerous occasions to keep me in good spirits. I can't let it go. She's too important and too special.
This must be Patchy Girl.
Yes, this is Patchy Girl.
I'm Lisa.
Hi.
Come through.
Hi, Lisa.
Leslie is so emotional and she is so terrified at the prospect of losing her beloved dog. I just hope that she's got a condition that we can fix. What's happening?
Well, this morning at about 2:30, Patch started coughing and choking, and then it just got too severe that we thought, well, we've got to do something. I thought I was going to lose her.
And she looks like she's really wiped out, doesn't she? Hey, sweetheart.
She's definitely a mum's dog, and she barks if I'm not there.
She's been barking a lot?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So she's been fed bones recently?
No.
And no chews or rawhide treats or anything that could have got stuck in there?
No.
Okay, we'll pop her up on the table.
Okay.
Okay. Hey, Patchy girl, let's have a look at your breathing, sweetheart. I'm looking at Patchy girl now and she's very relaxed, but I can't ignore what Leslie has described. An episode where Patchy girl was struggling to breathe, had a severe episode of coughing. Something is definitely going on with this dog. And what you're describing to me sounds like she may have a problem with her airways, so a problem potentially with her windpipe. The only way that I can work out what's going on is to take an X-ray of her neck and of her chest. Leslie's love for Patchy girl is so strong. It's like she's her child. I'm really feeling the pressure on this one. You come with me.
Very precious package.
I know. All right. I won't be too much longer.
Okay, thank you.
Bill, is this a love bite? It's too early for that, come on.
Very quickly get bad.
On remote Christmas Island, northwest of Australia, Bill is giving the visiting vet a very warm welcome.
If I smell fishy, then I've got some serious problems.
But it's Bill the Abbotts Booby that has the serious problem. The young rescue bird is missing critical flight feathers on her right wing.
The fact is, if a wild bird that relies on fishing to keep itself alive can't fly, then it can't survive. So your feeling is that when you first found her, she was fledgling and was trying to fly for the first time?
We think so. We figure that she tried to fly, she couldn't with half a wing, and she made it onto the ground.
All right, it's probably time to have a good look at that wing and see what's happening. Got a nice curvature there, which is just like an aircraft wing and gives the lift, but we need the length of the wing.
Near the end.
We do, yeah. And that's where it all kind of goes wrong at the end here. The tip of the wing is probably the most important part because it's the anchor point for all the primary flight feathers that really give a bird like Bill a lot of their lift and keep them in the air for all that time. So we've got what looks to be a fair bit of scar tissue around here. Got some bleeding here. There's a little bit of feather poking out there. That stump at the end of Bill's wing is clearly a problem area. It would be sore, it would be inflamed, and if it stays raw like this, it could be the site of quite a serious infection. So, the end of the wing, it is a mess. It's a bit of a war zone in here. I've got a suspicion I know what's happening with Bill's wing, but to know for sure, I'm gonna have to compare the problem wing with the normal one. See, we're almost going out to the fence there, and that's almost a metre from her body, whereas out this side, we'd be lucky to be a half there. And the extra length is what we're missing. To be honest, I think the biggest challenge we're facing is the fact that there's nothing about the end of this wing that's normal.
Poor Bill.
All right, honey, you're okay. There you go.
At SASH, Lisa is x-raying Patchy Girl to try and find out the cause of the little dog's severe breathing problems.
All right, let's have a look. She's got a collapsing trachea. Yeah, her windpipe, you can see, is tiny. When a windpipe collapses, it causes a dog to cough. It also prevents them from cooling down properly and can cause a lot of inflammation in their airways. In the very worst of cases, they're not going to be able to breathe properly, and that can be fatal. Hey, sweetheart, let's get you set up in a bed, okay? A collapsing windpipe normally shows up in middle-aged to older dogs, and Patchy Girl is a relatively young dog. If she's this bad now, I doubt she'll live a long life. You're okay, darling.
Lisa now has the tough task of breaking the news to Patchy Girl's distraught owner, Leslie.
So, Patchy Girl's x-rays show me that she does have a condition called a collapsing trachea or a collapsing windpipe. Okay, so when Patchy Girl breathes, her windpipe is floppy and it snaps shut and it's not letting much air in. So what you were describing was a very acute episode of it that was probably brought on by maybe barking too much, and unfortunately because it's a degenerative condition, it will get worse over time. There are only two real options for Patchy Girl. Manage her medically, which is not guaranteed, or place a stent under anaesthetic that is going to keep her windpipe open and hopefully prevent this from ever happening again. So you're happy to go ahead with the procedure?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Let's go through and see her.
Okay. She deserves this surgery because of what she's given to us in our lives. To save her life, it's the most important thing. Hello. Oh. Oh. You have been through so much today. You got a bit more to go. Okay. It's nothing worse to see your dog not being able to breathe. It's horrible. I know she's in good hands, but seeing her little face there it was difficult. Yeah, very difficult to say goodbye.
You can call us anytime.
All right.
Okay.
Oh.
Don't look back.
So if we can clean up the tip of this wing here for her and get it to the stage where it doesn't have any ingrown feathers, where there's no infection, where there's no irritation, we start to give her a really good chance of growing these feathers out. Now, I actually do need what's in there.
On Christmas Island, Bill isn't the only one vying for attention from the visiting vet.
How's this going to work? You can stand there and watch. Okay, I'll get this. Thank you. Are we happy now? Good. Right.
Bill, the Abbotts Booby, can finally get some treatment for her badly deformed wing.
So what I might do first of all is just put a little bit of local anaesthetic into this stump.
I don't feel anything after this.
Chris can now clean away any broken and ingrown feathers.
See, this is really the problem. This one here,
Broken inside.
it made a good start, but now you can see it's broken on the inside, so we should take that one out. Even though some blood is appearing, that is actually a good sign. It's showing the blood supply to the tip of this wing is healthy. All right. It's all right. Okay. So that should now be a healthy bed that the feathers can now grow through.
But there's still no guarantee Bill will ever be able to fly properly. So Chris wants to make sure the young, energetic seabird gets some much-needed rehabilitation.
Bill lives in the bird equivalent of paradise. Fresh air, sunshine, lots of water and lots of fish. So surely there's a form of exercise that she can do that's going to be perfect. So, kayak. Do we have these? Can we source them?
I actually have a kayak, yes.
It turns out Tanya has a kayak. Kayaks go in seawater, so do birds. I think she's already excited about it.
She looks pretty keen.
Hey, it's your big day. I know, honey. All right. Yeah, we're going to try and fix that windpipe of yours.
At SASH, Patchy Girl is being anaesthetised so the team can work out the best way to repair her collapsed windpipe.
Okay, good. How are you?
How's the patient?
She's ready for you.
Good, good.
Medicine vet Dr Justin Wimpole needs to insert a camera into the 7-year-old's trachea to see if a stent can be inserted.
All right, let's do it.
This will hopefully open up Patchy Girl's chronically narrow airway and help the little dog to breathe.
A stent is a device that will keep Patchy Girl's windpipe open. Placing a stent is a very, very risky procedure.
So we're just going having a look down her trachea. So I'd really like her to give a nice strong cough so we can see how much this trachea does collapse under pressure.
The image clearly reveals Patchy Girl's narrowed and inflamed airway.
You see the trachea is narrowed. It's just not collapsing as badly as I would expect, considering how much difficulty breathing she was having.
Having a stent put in is a big thing to go through if we're not seeing any evidence of it now.
Yeah, so there is some collapse, it's just not that severe.
It's now a race against time to work out what's going on with the little Shihtzu cross.
Leslie is really nervous about this. It's not an easy thing to go through with your beloved dog, so I just hope that we have some good news for her at the end of the day.
Look at you now, huh?
On Christmas Island, Bill's first rehabilitation session is underway.
She's never looked happier.
She does like it out here.
Chris wants to see Bill out on the water, getting some much-needed exercise while her feathers grow.
There we go.
And you're away. There you go. This is hydrotherapy of a different kind. Bill's feet are churning through the water. You can see her really busily working to keep up with the kayaks. And that is exactly what I had in mind. See, the head's going under, she's preening. That's more like it.
Surfing booby. That's a happy booby.
You go for it.
There we go. Safe. It makes me really happy. Like, it's great to see her actually out and enjoying her life instead of being stuck up in the enclosure. And oh, Mel. I think she's definitely got a brighter future now than she did. So it's really good to see.
Hopefully things are looking a bit better for you. Yeah? Catch a few fish, grow a few feathers. You can send me the bill. Abbotts boobies can live quite long lives, up to 40 years. And in her case now, if she gets her exercise, she gets her mental stimulation, then ultimately, there's no reason why she can't live a long life, but importantly also, a happy one.
Time to go home.
All right, Bill. Home time, importantly.
Dinner time.
Feed time. Come on, let's go.
What's up, Justin? Hello, Andrew. How are you going? So we've got this little dog, Patchy Girl, who had severe respiratory distress, and she's got some tracheal collapse, but it's not. It's there, but it's not as severe as her symptoms suggest. So I could see her larynx working, but I'd just like you to
At SASH, Lisa and Justin have now called in specialist surgeon Dr Andrew Marchevsky to look at Patchy Girl's voice box.
The actual larynx is working well and the voice box is not collapsed and nice and strong, but yeah, those factors I think might be causing a bit of a problem.
Andrew is examining Patchy Girl's voice box and has found that the lining of her voice box has popped out, which is definitely contributing to her coughing and breathing problems.
So we could probably do something about that now if you want.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll go and get some tools.
Andrew is going to perform surgery on Patchy Girl's voice box to trim away the lining that has popped out, which will hopefully help her breathe better.
And I need you to hold her tongue right there. So what I'm going to do is I've got a very fine pair of scissors and I'm just going to cut away that tissue to get rid of the obstruction. Now just drop her head a little bit, please, and point it that way a bit, please. Thanks. These pieces of tissue that I'm removing are not very big, but her airway is actually not very big either, so it doesn't take much to cause a big problem. So that's just one part of the lining that's popped out, so we've just cut that out of the way, and then we'll go and do the other side as well. Oops. All right, we can put the tube back now. That's definitely the procedure we needed to do with her. Her collapse just in her windpipe just wasn't bad enough for us to justify putting a stent in, but with that voice box being obstructed by those little flaps of the lining of the voice box. Us getting them out of there will help her.
All right, little patchy girl. Hey, well, hopefully you'll be all better for your mum.
Have you got reinforcements?
We might need them.
What's going on?
Oh, you'll have to wait and see. Hand him his equipment, Rodney.
Hey, mate.
You're going to need them.
We looking after an animal or maintenance?
You're doing a bit of grooming.
Hey, some grooming. Righto.
All right, we'll head up to the yards.
Yep.
All right, let's go.
After you.
Tim Faulkner is at the Hunter Valley Zoo about an hour from the Australian Reptile Park. He's been enlisted to help out good mate Jason with a mystery mission.
There's all kinds of different animals here, different species. Some are just beautiful, some really exotic, some a little bit big and nasty. I don't know what Jace is up to, but I know Jace well, and he's up to mischief.
He's in there. Have a squeeze.
He's going mad.
Yeah.
I peer through a little hole in the fence, and looking in I can see a beautiful and big male antelope. I've got a feeling that this task Jace has sprung on me involves catching him, but I've got no idea how.
I've got to trim up his hoofs. They're a little bit overgrown.
Fair enough. And how do we catch him?
Well, you grab the pointy end and we'll look after the rest.
It's a blackbuck antelope, and because of the soft soil here, it's much softer than where they're naturally found, so their hooves don't wear down so much. And when that happens, they can splinter, they can crack, they can become infected and be a big problem. So the goal today is to catch the antelope, restrain him and trim his hooves.
Okay, Rodney.
But catching this wily Indian native won't be easy.
They have super long horns, about 600 mil long. They can jump 2 metres up in the air. It's going to be quite a dangerous operation.
Somehow I think we got the right house.
Chris is in Melbourne to try to sort out a problem with a very vocal cavoodle.
You, Lola? Yeah? I'm told that Lola has some bad antisocial behaviour that needs addressing. I'm not so sure if this is it or if there's still more to come.
Hi, Chris, come on in. She won't bite. There we go.
Hilarious.
I know, she's just got this little tiny...
Intimidating.
Owner Serena is desperate to find a cure for the 5-year-old's outrageous antics.
When people sit on our couch, she jumps up next to them and starts humping their arm.
I noticed that I've managed to get in through the gate, you know, thankfully with my life intact. There was no humping of legs.
She doesn't do the legs at all. It's just the arm when people are seated.
How long has she done this for?
She's 5 now, and probably since she was about 4 months old.
Okay. So it's always been a pretty big part of her.
It is.
Having my arm humped isn't anything I ever thought would be happening today. But if I am going to help out Lola and Serena, it is important I see Lola in action. I can't believe I'm willingly putting myself in the hot seat, quite literally, but geez, I'm going to be offended if she doesn't do it.
So will I.
Oh, she's getting nervous. I'm getting nervous too. It's a good sign, right? This is just a foreplay.
I think so. I think so.
I'm sitting down. Lola's doing a lot of talking, but as for getting amorous, nothing so far. She'd like it if I talk or just stay quiet?
Just, maybe just play with her a bit.
Hey.
She's growling, she's circling a bit. Lola wants his attention and she's just so loud.
All the pursuit of science, Lola, come on. I'm just going to sit back and just,
There we go.
Wow. Career high point.
Jeez, he's moving.
He's lively, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's going to be a handful to catch, isn't he?
At the Hunter Valley Zoo, Tim needs to catch this feisty blackbuck antelope. The animal's dangerously long hooves are in desperate need of a trim.
I'm a bit nervous.
I would be.
Good to feel nervous.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, he's an impressive animal, isn't he?
He is.
Let's get into it. Okay, Tim, he's going to make his way around. Yep, grab him by the horns. Yep, grab him by the horns. Well done, mate, well done. Get a hold of the other one. Yep. Up against the wall, yep, let's go.
Jesus.
You're right, he's strong, isn't he? Yep.
That's better.
Yep. Okay. Yep, we'll get these feet up. Hang on tight.
Now we've got him restrained, and Jace is on the back. He's up against the wall. Priority is keeping the antelope calm, safe, and as stress-free as possible. We put a blindfold straight on. Thank you. That just allows him to settle. He can't see what's going on around him. Then we can get the job done quickly, painless, and let him go.
How's he look?
Yeah, just one side's a bit longer than the other, but we'll just shape that up and he'll be fine.
Rodney just knocks a bit off the end of each hoof, and that just keeps them nice and level, because if they're uneven, they can limp, one can grow more, can get out of control.
One toe's a bit long there. Righto, back's done.
The much-needed pedicure takes just a few minutes.
There we go.
How's he look, mate?
Looks good, all done.
We've finished all the hoof trimming. Now we've got to get him released out of the yards, in with the girls safely.
Ready?
Okay, mate, you ready?
Okay, I'm ready. 1, 2, 3.
All yours, mate.
Whoa.
Job well done.
Thanks, mate.
What'd you think of that?
Oh, I loved it. I was
good.
terrified.
Yeah.
Terrified. It's so unfamiliar for me, but, well, I felt like I caught him well.
You done well. Done
He's
extremely
healthy,
well.
happy, and he's out with the girls.
He's good to go. Everything's gone great today, all gone to plan. I really appreciate Tim's help today. It's made it so much easier. He looks like he's settled in, mate, doesn't he?
He looks good. Hey, well, thanks for asking me.
No worries, mate. Thanks for your help, mate.
Oh,
I'll walk
fun.
you out, mate.
Yeah,
Let's go.
good on you.
I don't get paid enough for this.
In Melbourne, Chris is getting a full-on demonstration of Lola's disturbing behaviour with visitors.
I really don't get paid enough for this. This is certainly not the typical house visit. When I first arrived and met Lola, she was all talk and no action. Now she's no talk and all action. And what action? In many respects, it's fascinating to start with when you have a desexed female dog.
Yeah.
Not just desexed, but female. Humping.
Yeah.
Because humping isn't something we normally associate with females at all. A lot of people think that when they see a dog that's humping, then it automatically must be a sexual thing. Well, often it's not. So the crucial thing here is working out Lola's motivation. I just want to try something.
Okay.
I'm making a lot of eye contact at the moment, and she's not doing it. But we'll just see what happens when I go over here and look over here and start talking to no one in particular. And
Here we go.
look what happens. I'm starting to wonder whether Lola's antics are actually her way of getting attention. So there's really two things we have to look at. The humping, sure, because Lola, I hate to say, it's a little antisocial, a little forward. And the barking,
Yes.
because that's not exactly pleasant when you're sitting at home trying to relax. Thank you.
We can clown around and say this is funny, it's cute and it's engaging, but in fact I think it's about a dog that's in distress, and as her owner, I don't want that for my pet.
Dogs are very different inside versus outside. We need to get the whole Lola picture.
All right.
Could we go for a bit of a walk?
Yeah, sure.
All right.
Yeah, let's do that.
The fact is, this behaviour does need to be controlled. So the whole idea now is to take her out of her territory and see what happens. Hopefully, that'll give me a clue about how I can fix it.
Hey Liz, come and check this out. Oh wow, you don't see that every day. Not at all.
A very peculiar-looking creature has been handed into the Australian Reptile Park receptionist, Penny.
We should probably get Tim. I'll get Tim. Have a look, yeah. Penny to Tim.
Go ahead, Pen.
Hey Tim, we have something here for you that you'd probably like to see.
Sounds interesting. What is it?
It's a bit of an odd one. You'll probably have to check it out for yourself. You're gonna freak.
Righto, I'll be down in a minute.
This is something I've never seen before. Tim's definitely going to be excited to see this one.
What have we got?
Hey, I think we've got a blue tongue lizard.
Holy moly. You do have a blue tongue, but it's got 2 heads. Look at that. Fair to say, in a long time in zoos, we've never seen that, hey?
Never.
This lizard is a real anomaly. I mean, it must be a chance of 1 in a million in the wild that something like this is born, and for it to have been found alive, well, spectacular.
Do you think he's going to grow?
If he's got 2 independent brains and he can swallow and his body's all right, then he might live. It's great that someone found him and recognised that he was different and has brought him to us. Things like this in the wild, well, if they're disadvantaged even a little bit, the wild is harsh, and I don't think he would have survived out there.
What are you going to do?
Down to the vet, hey? We need an answer to know that he's not in pain or anything like that, and then we'll look after him. Looking at him, physically, he's okay, but I'm not a vet, and I guess I really need to know what's going on the inside. I'll take him down now. I'll let you know how I go when I get back.
Thanks, Tim.
Pete the vet, he's in for a surprise. I've taken him weird and wonderful things over the years, but never anything with 2 heads.
There's not a sound, is there?
No, she just really enjoys her walk. She just wanders along.
In Melbourne, Chris is trying an unusual approach in a bid to solve Lola's antisocial humping behaviour.
Butter wouldn't melt.
I know, she's like the perfect dog in public.
And this isn't what I expect from a dog that just put on such a show.
Yep.
And was so loud.
It's so incongruent, isn't it? It's really, the many shades of Lola.
The amazing thing is you take Lola out of the house where she feels like she has total control over everyone, and all of a sudden, we've got a different dog. There's no barking, and there's certainly no humping. With all sorts of behavioural problems that you see as a vet, I'd say the majority of them involve either dominance, territorial behaviour, attention seeking, pretty much those 3. She's actually got all 3 of those.
She's the trifecta.
She is. Yeah. This double life that Lola's leading, where she's well behaved outdoors but poorly behaved indoors, it's not fooling me. Even though this has only been a short walk, it's given me enough time to come up with a solution that I'm pretty sure is going to end Lola's humping ways forever. I'm going to meet you back at your place with my solution.
Alrighty, thanks, Chris.
I'll see you soon.
Come on, pups.
Good afternoon, guys.
Hello, Tim.
I know I don't have an appointment, but do you have time for a special little friend of mine?
Tim has arrived at the Green Cross Vet Clinic, about 5 minutes from the Australian Reptile Park.
Have you ever seen anything like that?
He's hoping Dr Peter Nosworthy can provide some more clues about this very unusual 2-headed blue-tongue lizard.
I've never seen a lizard like this before, and I'm worried about how it's going to survive. I'm just going to have a look in his mouth for a moment.
One blue tongue.
Everything looks all right in there. All right, mate, let's have a look on the other side. Yeah, OK. Superficially, from what I can see, they both look normal.
Is it possible that both heads work and swallow and...
I'm sure it is, yeah. I mean, I don't see why it couldn't be. I'd like to take an X-ray of its spine to see that it has got, something that runs from the back of one of its heads down through until the tail. X-rays. I would then like to pass a tube down both mouths to see which one goes down to the stomach, or whether they both do, out of interest, and see which one we should be feeding, or can we feed both? OK.
What do you got? 1 or 2 brains?
I think we have only got 1 brain, Tim.
1 brain, 2 heads?
1 brain, yeah. It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing.
And the rest of the body looks healthy?
Normal.
Normal? Wow.
Normal. From 2 heads backwards, he's normal.
The X-rays are done, and Pete's happy. But what he wants to see now is what actually happens when he puts a tube down the throat. Do both mouths feed through to the stomach? Mouth open.
Mouth open.
Pete puts the tube down one side, and it feeds back to the belly. He then goes to the other head, and it does the same. Now that means both mouths are intact and working.
OK.
So that's good.
He can swallow both sides. Both sides will run down into the abdomen.
It's a great result. But before Tim leaves, there's one more thing that needs to be addressed.
What are you going to call him?
How about Janus?
Janus?
Yeah, it was the Roman god of new beginnings. He had two faces.
Janus?
Janus, yeah.
Well, that's lovely. One lizard, one brain with two heads.
New start, Janus.
I love it. I'm going to take him home, try and get him feeding, get him strong, and hopefully he can live a normal life.
Hello. Yes, the game's up.
In Melbourne, Chris is about to dish out some tough love to Lola.
How Serena has put up with Lola's behaviour for all this time, I have absolutely no idea, but I'm quite sure she's really going to appreciate the solution that I've got in mind. Let me guess. Yep. Right back to where it all began. So, I've come up with something that is going to change the rules around here.
Okay.
It's high tech. Highly expensive.
Right.
It's going to blow your mind. You ready?
I'm totally ready. A leash.
A dog leash.
Right. We have one of those. Yes.
This one is now her inside leash.
Right.
The idea behind an inside leash is actually pretty simple. It gives Serena back her control and means she can correct Lola without touching her, without talking to her, without giving her any attention whatsoever. So, the moment the bad behaviour starts,
Yep.
get the end of the leash,
Yep.
haven't looked at her, haven't talked to her, and now get hold of her. And we walk her, whether she likes it or not, in here. And shut the door.
Right. So Chris puts her in the laundry. She's in there for 3 or 4 minutes. Not a peep out of Lola, which is so unusual. Okay.
So we'll go back up here.
Okay.
I can't believe it. We have silence. Immediately, there's not a lot of interest.
I think Chris has nailed it, and it's down to me to help her with this.
So it's the start.
It is. It's a great start.
And let's hope that is all it needs.
Alrighty.
Okay.
Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, Serena.
Thank you.
My pleasure. I was expecting a result, but this is pretty much instantaneous. All of a sudden, Serena is now back in control, all thanks to a leash. A lot of people think leashes are just for outdoors, but indoors, they can be pretty effective too.
Hey, you want to say goodbye? No, I think she's over you. It was beautiful while it lasted.
It was special. I'll never forget you, Lola. Thank you.
See you, Chris.
See you later.
Bye-bye. Hey, come here. Say goodbye.
Well, that's his home, at least for the next little while, until he gets established and starts eating and gets bigger and stronger.
Tim is helping Janus, the blue-tongued lizard, to settle into his new home at the Australian Reptile Park.
I don't know if he's ever eaten since he was born, so I'm actually going to try and just force a little bit into him, and maybe that'll give him a taste for it, and tomorrow or in the days to come, it'll stimulate him to start feeding by himself. My little mate. I'm just going to gently pry open his mouth, just put a bit in, just get a little bit of food in there. That's it, good boy. He's eating it. He's licking it. That's fantastic, he knows what to do. Good boy. Let's try head number 2. Same again. That's a good fella. When I was down at the vet's, Pete said he's got a good response in the mouth. He sure does. He's swallowing that food from both heads. The last thing I'm going to do is actually try a little cricket. Okay, that's it, mouth's open. Cricket's in. Look at that. He's eating. Beautiful. In the wild, he wouldn't have survived. At least here, we can give him a chance. That'll be a good little home for you, mate. You got everything you need in there.
Good girl.
At SASH, it's been just 24 hours since Patchy Girl had surgery on her voice box.
You look so good, hey? Let's take a look at you.
The little Shihtzu cross has made an amazing recovery.
I think it's home time for you. I do.
Devoted owner Leslie is desperate to see her precious girl.
It's incredible. I just can't wait to see her.
Let's go see Mum. Huh? Let's go.
I cried as soon as I got home knowing she wasn't there because I've never, ever, ever been away from Patchy Girl and she's never been away from me.
Look who's there.
Hello, 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 Patchy Girl. Oh, yes.
When Patchy Girl sees Leslie, she just nestles into her arms. She knows she's safe with Leslie and she is so happy to be finally going home.
You look just so much better. And you know that everyone's looked after you, haven't they?
It's a pleasure, Patchy.
Absolutely thrilled with the outcome. Really, really thrilled. It's a good girl.
Hi, I'm Dr Danny Dusek from Bondi Vet. If you love our show and want to see more, plus some amazing content about pets and how to care for them, hit the subscribe button. Click that little notification bell and we'll see you on our next video.